Queens get the money. Queens get the money. Queens get the money. Queens get the money, yeah. I'ma knock it out the park with this one. I'ma knock it out the park with this one, yeah. I'ma knock it out the park with this one.
I'm not happy. I'm not.
Queens get the money. The money.
How could you be?
Queens get the money.
All right, cut it off. We're gonna play that song when we win. Damn that! I can't play that song and feel good about what the hell we just saw. I am Barry Grant Jr. This is Queens Get the Money. That is Nicole Silent Assassin Bonante in the middle. That is Tom Greer on the end. How are you guys doing, my esteemed panel?
Personally good, but not mentally with these Mets. But we'll figure it out.
Personally is always good. That's always good.
Yeah.
Tom, how you doing?
Just searching for silver linings. It definitely sucked. These last couple days sucked, especially after, the opening series, taking the opening series.
So, I mean, listen, there's no reason to waste any time. Let's just get right into it. Mets lose the series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Lost the game today 2-1. Walk-off style. The bats have not been awake yet. Now, we always know that to start the season, the bats are always going to be behind the pitching. That's just the way it is. But in my opinion, the Mets look like they sleptwalk through the series. Mental mistakes, the Carson Bench era. You had, I don't know what the hell Lindor was doing where he didn't even realize that that there was one out in the inning, and then the base running blunder that he had. It's just like, what is happening? What is happening? So, I don't know who wants to take it first, but whoever wants, we'll start with Nicole. We have Armand in the building. Armand, what's going on, man? 1 for 29, runners scoring. Exactly. You're preaching to the choir, my man. So Silent Assassin, what do you got?
Yeah, it's pretty shameful, I feel like, because we're getting, the pitching looks really, really good, and we're not kind of backing that up. Just a lot of mental mistakes, even, the Bo Bichette thing also last night too, why is he that far off, first base too, to kind of not be able to get back. But just overall, just very, very slow offensively. And this is a lineup that should not be producing that slowly, especially, again, with the runners in scoring position. That's not what this lineup is built to do. I understand, how it does take some time to kind of warm up, but we've had, three or four games go into extra innings, which is, I feel like, I feel like personally that just should have been cleaned up, finished games with this team. And just the team doesn't look good. So we came off that really exciting first game where it's okay, these guys are grinding out at bats. This team looks different. And then after that opening day, completely changed offense on the offense side. And I was telling you guys earlier, despite everything, if we win the series, I'm okay with it. Obviously, we have issues that we have to fix, but getting that loss this series just hurts extra. And I don't know, it just makes me kind of feel a little bit down. I think, we have to kind of get everything in order and really kind of go at it for this upcoming series against the Giants, which I believe is a 4-game series. So
4 games.
And then the Giants themselves, haven't looked the greatest as well. But all three of these teams, we're better than them. So I feel like we should have taken at least this series against the Cardinals as well and won 3 opening series within the first week of the season. But we have to get at it and change this as soon as possible, because if this thing continues, obviously that's a greater problem, and then people kind of people have to be put up to the pedestal, and some firings, which I think a lot of fans were kind of questioning even last year with our manager. But we'll see what happens.
Tom,
it definitely sucks losing to the Cardinals, who are like clearly rebuilding. Like, I don't think there's anything more demoralizing than watching a team that you feel like your team's better than get beat. And there's nobody in the stands. Like, nobody even showed up to the game because they know that the Cardinals really aren't threatening to be much this year.
Mm-hmm.
That hurts. It really just makes me a little nervous because it did kind of give you that last year vibe, because if you remember, like last year, unless I'm remembering correctly, and if I am, please one of you tell me I'm an idiot, but I felt like to start the year last year, the Mets were pitching pretty well. Like, I feel like the Mets were pitching up until Griffin Canning went out, and then just everybody started.
Yeah.
Griffin Canning went out, Saget went out, everybody got hurt. But I feel like at the beginning of the season, guys were pitching well, and the offense was still not.
The pitching was the one that was keeping us afloat early on in the season. Like, we were having major offensive problems to start the year, and the pitching, the bullpen, there were a lot of very close games, 2-1 games.
Yeah.
3-2 games. Like, there was a lot of games like that where the offense wasn't doing anything. Runners in scoring position was a big problem early on in the year. So new group, same issue.
Yeah, that's
right?
that's the concerning thing. But I mean, I do really like how Freddie's throwing the ball. That looks really nice.
Senga,
like that. That is like everything that we wanted Senga to be.
He was
last night. That's like this. That's the guy that I want to see every fifth day. That if you can just do that, throwing heat, the pitches were just the movement was good. Like that was the Kodai Senga we were promised.
Yeah.
So
had one bad inning and he gave up 2 runs, and that was the game. Like, you know what I mean? It's
I still like they were batting like 162 with runners in scoring position. It was like today, I think they had the bases loaded, maybe 1 out, and they couldn't scratch together another run. And it's just it's bad. It's not good. They are gonna have like the offense. I always chalk it up to the beginning of the season that guys are still like making the jump from spring training to the big. So I don't go too crazy like within the first few games like we've mentioned, but like they're really going to have to start capitalizing on a lot of these opportunities to like change the vibe for people. You know what I mean? Because sure, it's 6 games into the year, but I still want to be entertained, and I still want to feel a little more confident about this team going forward. And I'm sure a week or two is going to go by, and we'll be having a different conversation completely. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be shocked by that either.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I expect, and we'll talk about this as later on in the show in regards to our expectations about the Giants series. But biggest takeaway from me, it just the series in itself against the Cardinals just felt weird. And the reason why I say that it felt weird is because there were so many uncharacteristic things. Like, I remember Soto being on first against what's the pitcher name last night? Was it Palante?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He was, and he literally had the base stolen, and he kind of got like confused and didn't steal the base. And I'm just like, come on now. Like, I understand it's early in the season, like, but there's certain little hiccups and mistakes that should not be made when you're at this level. Like, you know what I mean? Because again, we talked about this last year. Oh, it's early. I said that to nauseum last year, right? It's early. But what ended up biting us in the ass? Those early losses, those bad losses, right? The ones that you should not lose, it comes back to bite you in the end. It's 162, but every win counts. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to start piling on wins. I'm not saying that you're going to win every game. You're never going to go 162-0. But the winnable games, you should be way over 500 for the winnable games. For the competitive games, if you can be able to be 500 with the competitive teams, the top of the top contenders in baseball, then that's how you get to the playoffs. But when you start sputtering against teams that, like you said, Tom, they're not even looking to win. They're literally in rebuild mode. to the point where they're selling that to their fan base. Yeah, we are pushing out a young team. We're trying to rebuild. And you can't score against a free swinging team like the St. Louis Cardinals. That's a problem to me. When you go ahead and you focus in the first game against Mr. Cy Young, you have good plate appearances, you're pushing counts, you're taking good swings, good hacks. And after that game, completely different. It's been completely different for the next 5 games of what we saw. That's concerning to me, is that if we all thought that, oh my goodness, they're gonna, we have some disciplined hitters on this team. It doesn't look that way. These guys look completely fooled. Marcus Semien looks like he doesn't know what the hell he's doing in regards to being at the play. He's completely lost. Bo Bichette looks completely lost. Like the big, and can anybody explain to me? Anybody, I don't care who it is, right? With Tom, Silent Assassin, whether it be Mendy himself, you get one good game out of Jared Young. He gives you the double, right? That like nice laser blazer taser that he smacked to right field, right? It was great. You do not reward him with another start because this is a guy who is a marginal baseball player at the major league level. He can make your team. That doesn't mean that you get back-to-back starts. Nobody's hurt on the team, so why is he getting back-to-back starts? These are the things that I don't understand, and those are the things that are not acceptable even starting the season. You do this in game 70 when guys are taking days off. Then okay, cool. You give Jared Young 2 days if he wants to. You're starting the season like this? This doesn't make sense to me. And every time you hear Mendy speak, you get zero clarification in regards to why he does anything. That's the most frustrating thing. It's early. I don't even care about the wins and losses right now, right? It's about how you lose, right? You want to pile up wins. I understand that. We're only 6 games in. The world is not burning and the Mets are not terrible. But at the end of the day, it's the thing that annoys me is that it's the same mistakes that you keep seeing from your manager. And those things are constant with this guy. That's what I don't like, because it's not going to get any better. This is year 3. If he hasn't improved yet, he's not going to get any better. That's a fact.
I guess I understand. The things that just kind of confuse me, the moves that confuse me the most is if Polanco's going to have an Achilles problem and you're only going to be DHing him. That's fine.
Right, that's fine.
Why am I not getting a heavy dose of Beatty at first base?
Why did Beatty get a day off today? Like you think he can't hit against lefties? He can hit against lefties.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, I agree. I think they also. I think Mendy also has a lot of faith in Mark Vientos and wants to get Mark Vientos into the lineup any way he possibly can. And the only place he can play him is first base.
But that's fine. Then don't play Jared Young.
I agree. No, I don't know why. I really don't know why Jared Young.
Like you could have had Vientos in there, and you would have had Beatty in there, and you would have been fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But why is Jared Young playing back-to-back days? That's the thing that I just you cannot rationale anything about that decision. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So, the biggest thing that I want to see from the Mets, obviously, is just for them to wake up, right? Like, it's early. Yes. But the quality at bats concern me because they are just not focusing with runners in scoring position. That's something that is going to be a trend if you do not try to fix it. I'm not like you're not going to bat 700 with runners in scoring position. It's not possible. But 1 for 29 with this level of offense is inexcusable.
Bad.
That's all I'm saying, right? Like it has to be a lot better than that, because think about it. If it wasn't for Robert's heroics, this team is 2-4 right now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? This team is a potential under 500 with the level of talent and the way the pitching staff, they have like a 3.5 ERA right now for your starting pitching staff. It's probably lower than that now after today. They have done their job. It's up to the offense to hold their part of the bargain now. You know what I mean? Devin Williams has been really good.
Beast, the Airbender's back.
Yeah. Brooks Raley has been solid. Brazoban, been like all of these guys have pitched very well. And I don't know if you guys see a trend too, but I think that there's something coming from upstairs in regards to how the bullpen is being used. Because I don't think that Mendoza has used the bullpen terribly this season. I think that there's one thing I'm going to talk about later, but I think that he's done a good job. But at the same time, there still has been some inconsistencies with regards to who's available and who's not. You told me like Brooks Raley pitched 11 pitches on Saturday when I was there on the coldest day I've ever been at a game, but then he's not available the next day. I explain that to me.
Yeah, it's just weird because like since he's been here, that's kind of his thing. Has been like pretty questionable. Even last year when Ottavino was like saying like he kind of cooked the bullpen in 2024, just overuse and not really making the right moves. And we joked about it plenty last year of this blank stare whenever he's calling someone to come in.
Yeah. And
he just looks completely, he's like, oh, let's just try this guy out right now. But really, it wouldn't obviously surprise me with Mr. Analytic or whomever is on the other end of the phone of getting that call of who to put in. Obviously, we knew that kind of ruined a lot of, Buck's tenure here, like with playing certain people. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. And with some of the calls, I'm just like, why is this happening when this guy's available? Or, Tobias Myers is able to go multiple innings. Like sometimes, like, why is he only pitching one inning here when we can, expand him? So, definitely a question. Yeah.
I think that's really good, Tom.
I mean, I actually don't mind a lot of what Mendy's done with the bullpen so far.
Me neither.
Like
I think it's bad.
I think he's been okay. Like I think we got a heavy dose of Richard Lovelady in game 2, simply because Mendy knew that the offense wasn't doing a damn thing. And he's like, I'm not burning my good relievers for a game we're not hitting in when I need him, where I'm probably going to need him for a closeout game the next day, which is, obviously ended up offense still went cold, didn't work out. But I don't know. I think that's another one of the silver linings. Just I really like I'm liking the full pitching staff of the New York Mets. I'm actually really liking right now.
Yeah,
I'm not really all too worried about it. I feel like we got guys that can get us through games. My main area of concern is just the offense. I think I do think Mendy had a few hiccups with the bullpen last year specifically, but I think he was hampered by a staff that couldn't stay healthy and couldn't give him length. And then I give him a pass in 2020. I give him a pass in 2024. It was his first year ever being a big league manager. You know what I mean? And how often I don't know how far back all of you remember. Barry, I'm sure you remember. Like again, when was the last manager the Mets have had that you were confident about them going out to make a bullpen change? Don't say Terry Collins, because all of us sitting here right now know that you had issues with Terry and his bullpens.
Bobby V.
That was just like 30 years ago. You know what I mean? So I think Mendy will find a way to. I think Mendy could find a way to manage, and I think he's at least showing that he's got enough arms in there that it'll shake out. He'll have a couple of blunders that'll make you scratch your head and be like, what the hell is he doing? But I mean, find me a manager that doesn't get drilled for bullpen issues. Everybody has them.
Dusty Baker doesn't.
Dusty Baker's not managing. We're not watching Team Nicaragua right now.
I'm just when he was managing.
He was managing, but he's not managing anymore. And I'm sure. Come on, dude. I'm absolutely sure you can go to when he was in Houston, when he was with the Cubs. You could find a spot for him, and I'm sure you could find a couple of fans that were like, you know what, Dusty really mismanaged that bullpen that day.
You go ahead and you find it for me, and we'll have a conversation. Man was perfect. Okay, he led any dead body team to the playoffs. That's what he did. Okay.
It took how long did it? When did he win his first World Series?
A couple of years ago with the Astros.
That's it. A couple of years ago.
Yeah. But
it took him this long.
Bring teams to the promised land.
Oh no, I'm not saying that Dusty Baker's a bad manager. I'm just saying that most managers in Major League Baseball will have their fans questioning their bullpen decisions.
I am teasing you, Tom. I agree.
I know.
I'm just upset.
Of course you look. Dude, of course you are. Listen, we've literally spent this whole offseason hyping ourselves up. Everything's going to be good. New look Mets. Here we come. And then starting the season 3-2. It's not fun. Granted, better than being under 500. That's pretty great. Being above 500, it is. You got to take
we
a little.
500. I think we are 500.
Oh no, we actually might be 500.
Yeah, we're 500.
Yeah, it's 3. All right. Okay, cool. So we're 5. Not below it though.
No,
we're not below it.
No.
Quick spin zones. Quick spin zones. Everybody.
Moving on. To some positive news. JD Martinez. How do you guys feel about this? I am ecstatic about JD Martinez actually joining this club as was the special advisor to baseball operations or whatever it was. They just they made up a position for him. That's what you do when you have good people. You create spots. I like this move just because JD Martinez has always just been a leader, no matter where he's gone. Great clubhouse guy, and really had a huge impact on Mark Vientos personally. Like when he got here, Mark Vientos was one of those guys that was kind of like vying for his spot and thought that he had the spot locked. And then all of a sudden JD gets signed in spring, and he thought that things were going to change. And the first thing that JD did was put his arm around the kid and say, look, you're coming with me. Like I'm going to make sure that you have a good year. I'm going to relax you. I'm going to, and that's the vibe that he brought when the Mets were bad and things weren't going well. And we were 10 games under 500. It was JD Martinez that went to Mendy and said, call up Iglesias, call up this guy, because I think that he can be able to loosen guys up and be able to bring some fun to this clubhouse. The clubhouse is just not fun right now. And I think that JD is going to be able to bring that same type of relaxed environment to guys, be able to advise them on hitting, be able to kind of loosen them up, kind of just keep them focused on what's important. And that's like, hey, baseball, have fun, be with your guys. Don't read the tea leaves in the media so heavily, right? Like, don't worry about all that stuff. Try to block out all the noise and just focus on what's right here in this clubhouse and what the task at hand is. So love the move. I do believe that JD Martinez feels like a guy that's going to end up moving up the organization. I think he's going to be here, and he's going to be here for a while. And I wouldn't be surprised if down the road you see JD Martinez as somebody's manager. I'm not saying that he's going to be the Mets manager, but he has that look to me. So what do you guys thoughts about JD Martinez being signed here? Tom, thoughts?
I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay with bringing anybody that is associated with the 2024 Mets to come be any kind of advisor, just to help out where they can. I think it's so funny that they announced this and Mark Vientos is in the starting lineup the next day. I thought that was hilarious. But no, yeah. I mean, look, whatever. It's so the titles that people get within sports organizations is just crazy to me. It's like they just wanted to give somebody a job and was like just mad-libbing titles and just sticking them onto people.
Advisor to the baseball room.
Yeah, advisor to the traveling secretary. Cool. Bring him back. I don't know exactly how much of an influence he's going to have on the locker room, but I mean, if he can help like rally the troops, I guess, because it's weird. Like he's not a coach. He's not a player. He's just existing in the organization. So I just kind of wonder like how much effect is he really going to have? Is he just a guy that's going to come in and give the team pep talks every once in a while? Is he going to have like a closed door meeting with everybody?
It could be one of those guys that just like I said, like, in regards to like, pre-game, he's there talking to guys, post-game, he's there talking to guys. He might even be in the clubhouse when guys are there. You never know. Like, true. I think it's whatever they need him for. Like if the players are requesting him to be a little bit more closer to the team, I don't think that David Stearns will have a problem with that, right? So it's kind of like, hey, wherever you're needed, that's where you're gonna go. And if it's more about being close player personnel wise, I think that's where they'll put him. So what are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, like this is something that we've been talking about for a while, ever since after 2024. Like in some capacity, we wanted him back.
Yeah.
We were even talking about like a hitting coach, but obviously that didn't happen. But when I saw the news, I was definitely excited because again, we've been speaking about this, and it like speaks volumes because he wasn't here for that long. He didn't play here that long, and there was nothing but good things about him, and him and Iglesias pulling that team together. Like without them, either of them, like that team wasn't where they were. And it makes me excited for Vientos because he hasn't been hitting bad. He has a few, I think, 2 doubles and something like that since he's played so far this season. But I think that if anyone, just with his mentorship over him in 2024, like he's going to be the guy that brings Vientos back to his form. And I think that'd be like a really, really important piece, obviously, to kind of get this team going again. If you have a Mark Vientos hitting good, if you have a Brett Beatty hitting good, and then you have Lindor, Bichette, Soto, like that's a really, really good like core set to have.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if I was seeing things today, but there was like a call on the field and they cut to the dugout, and I thought I saw Yadier Molina in the dugout, and he's a similar role with like a special advisory.
That man's a devil.
So, okay. But like, I'll just say like if Yadi's in the dugout during the game, then JD I'm sure is gonna be around. But I don't know if it was just me hallucinating or whatever. Because I'm like, why is he even in the dugout? But
it might be the same type of role, yeah.
Yeah, because I looked up, I'm like, oh, is he still with the organization? And he's within the some capacity as like an assistant and whatnot. So I definitely think it's gonna help this team and just the camaraderie of getting everyone together. From what we've seen, obviously in spring training, we talked about it. This team looks close, but they just have to kind of join forces and get this offense kicking, and then we're in good standings.
They just have to win. The vibes go up once they start winning. And you guys are right. Like JD Martinez, if he's anything, he's a professional hitter. I wonder like if it winds up becoming like too many cooks in the kitchen kind of thing when it comes to hitting. You don't want to like mess with anybody too much. We saw, what Eric Chavez tried to do with Juan Soto last year. Yeah. But I can respect that just anybody that knows how to hit well, just bring him in and let him talk to these guys.
Yeah,
like bring him in and let him. Like, if he's an advisor, to be like, hey, change your approach this way. Go for it. You know what I mean? It can't hurt.
And also too, I think he can kind of be a I wouldn't say that they need a buffer, but he's another, because you got to remember, right? He's a guy that played.
Yeah,
like Snigger, he hasn't played, right? He's been a hitting coach for a while and stuff like that. He's had success in Houston, but he hasn't played. It's a different way of absorbing information, right? Mm-hmm. I can tell you something. I can give you all of the metrics and all of this stuff, right? But somebody look at me like, well, what the hell does Barry know? He didn't play no baseball, right? But if somebody that's a baseball person says the exact same thing that I say, it's going to land better. Yeah. So that's kind of what a JD Martinez brings, just because it's like, hey, I can be able to, not saying that you can't get to them, but I can be able to help you get to these players a little better and make them absorb the message that you're trying to give them a lot better, right? So that's a good thing to have. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody who's on scene that can be able to really help these guys. Because a guy like Vientos, right? Like if he's struggling, JD Martinez can be able to literally physically put a hand over him and say, hey, listen, like, it's all right. Like, I mean, like I've been here in my career where, I didn't know what the hell was going to go on. And I didn't have a direction. And then all of a sudden everything clicked, right? Like that's where his expertise is going to come in. So it's only going to be positives from here, man, to be honest with you.
Can I ask a question since we're speaking about at bats and the lineup? Who of everybody, because it has been really frustrating, who has been your most who has been giving you the most frustrating at bats? Which person through the line? I have mine like right off the dome. It's no, you go first.
You want to go first?
No, you go first.
Mine is Simeon.
Simeon. I can understand that. Do you have it's just because you just don't like? Is he striking out? Maybe not striking out too much. He does look lost.
He's had a bunch of opportunities with guys and runners in scoring position, and he has not done anything.
Fair. Nicole, who do you hate right now?
I don't know. Like for me, because I'd hate to say these names because I know that they're still kind of figuring it out. But I mean, Bichette and Carson Bench, they've taken some really, really ugly swings, and I'm just like, that's nowhere close. Like, why are you even attempting to swing at that? So
Bichette has looked lost. I can understand with Benj because he's young.
Yeah.
But have you guys noticed that Benj's swing is a little long?
Oh, I've been thinking that since spring training. I've been like, he looks like he's got a really long swing, but he has been rough. Mine's Francisco Alvarez. Alvarez has, outside of that home run on opening day, just his at bats, he looks lost. Like he is just swinging at nothing. He looks like he just does not have a grasp of the strike zone when he's at the plate. Like
he's never been a guy that picked up the slider well anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just like, it's so just like, dude, I watched you hit that bomb on opening day. Just connect, figure it out. Yeah. And he blew our challenges today, which kind of sucked.
Yeah. And he wasn't too sharp behind the plate either.
No. So I just I don't know why. Maybe I'm just being too picky, but Francisco Alvarez has been frustrating the hell out of me the past couple of days.
If we're gonna go back to the game, I have some audio from Lindor here. Let me see if I can play it.
He did very good, and then recognizing that it's only 6 games, what is the concern level overall with the offense team-wise? I still believe in what we have, and Stearns and the front office did a good job of putting a good team together, and we have a good team. It's just they executed their game plans, and I felt like yesterday we executed our game plan. Just we didn't get the ball up in the air against Palante. He did very good, and then Stanek and the rest of the guys that came in, they did very good. And then same thing today. So, it happens. It's baseball at the end of the day. We got to play better than the other team. Senga pitched extremely well yesterday. It's hard to score. It's hard to win if you don't score runs. So, overall, I think it's just we are a couple of pitches away from, continuing to get the ball rolling on our side. Just hats off to the Cardinals. They did really good, and move on.
Simple. Like, here's the thing, right? We feel like this right now, but if they come out and go to San Francisco and rip the cover off the ball, everything is right with the world. So it's like we are, and anybody who's listening to us, who's watching this, like, you got to understand what we're going to be doing after every series is we're breaking down this series. We are going to isolate this series in every series going forward because we want to see what happened in the series, what the trends are, and how they can be able to figure out. And we have to call some guys out who are not performing well. That doesn't necessarily mean that we are condemning these people for the entire season. But if you see something that's egregious, it needs to be called out. Like, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we talked about this, right? Like you can be able to have solid wins. You can win games. You can keep winning games. Everybody can feel good, but there's certain things in a win that can come up in a loss, right? Like you got to clean some things up. And if we're mashing, say for example, we were mashing home runs, still winning games, but we're still not really doing things with runners in scoring position. That's still a problem, right? Yeah, we're hitting solo home runs and stuff like that and maintaining and winning games, but you're still not working on what's plaguing the team. And that's the biggest thing. And I think that over in this series, what I want to see, and we'll go ahead and discuss that a little bit later, is patience. So, I'm not going to go into that a little, but we'll go into that as we break down our series with the Giants. But, it's just about what we want to see, how we want to see them perform, and how we're calling guys out. Did you guys find it strange in regards to Mark Vientos' trade information being leaked? Like, who leaked that? Because the Mets have been very good in regards to keeping things on the wraps. I don't think that this was a Met leak, but yeah, I feel bad for the kid because if anybody says that they don't listen to rumors, maybe 5% of that is true, but there's a lot of people that look at the tea leaves and look at what's going on, right? And for a guy like Mark Vientos that's struggling with his confidence, that's struggling with his position on this team, to be able to know for a fact, or if it's a rumor, a high-end rumor, that the Mets offered him in a Robert trade and the White Sox said, nah, we don't want him, that might have a player. It can go two ways for a player, right? Like, they can use that as motivation, or it can continue to sink them and sink their confidence, and they really get lost and can't find themselves. So what are you guys' thoughts about that being leaked as a high-end rumor or whatever it is?
Definitely interesting now that's come out, because that trade happened, a while ago.
Yeah.
You would think maybe oh, this person's offered, while it's kind of initially happening. Yeah, but I always kind of talked about that Vientos is kind of, I think he reads too much into things, and that just kind of definitely hurts him a lot. He's just a more sensitive guy, which is not a problem, but here in New York, you kind of have to shut some things out. But I think it was interesting how the White Sox asked about Beatty, and the Mets were like, no way. Then Vientos was brought up, and then they're like, we don't necessarily want him. White Sox said no to, and then they came to Acuna. I think obviously for all of us, for him to kind of take that as motivation. It's like, what do you mean this team doesn't want me? What do you mean the Mets don't want me? I'm going to kind of show what I'm here for. And I think that's what helped him be successful too. Also in 2024 was that whole, he was, if Martinez wasn't here, obviously he was well awarded with starting on that team. He had a really, really great spring training. And then obviously there's no more spots. You're going to take the veteran that you just signed, JD Martinez, to fill that role. And then that whole walk-off home run and then get sent down the next day, definitely was obviously hard for him. But the way he came back and kind of popped off and says I belong here, I think he can definitely come back from that, and that's what I'm hoping that's what the season is. I think every Mets fan, because I still believe in Mark Vientos. I still want him to be here. So hoping that turns into motivation, and then the opposite. So
yeah. Chip on his shoulder. Mark Vientos is the Mark Vientos that I want. But look, I feel like he has to be used to this, because this definitely hasn't been the first time that Mark Vientos has been floated around in trade rumors. I even think he got floated around in trade rumors back before he was even called up.
Yeah,
I'm talking before he was even first called up.
Yep, because they never looked at him as a high-end prospect. He grinded his way to the major leagues.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm sure that this is something that he's kind of sort of used to. I think he should be thrilled that the White Sox didn't want him, to be brutally honest with you, because where would you rather play? Would you rather play in Queens, get the you're comfortable here, you have family here, close to home. He could probably still find playing time. He's probably going to get shakes at first. He'll probably DH a bunch. I would rather do that than go play in Chicago. But I hope Mark Vientos felt some type of way with that whole situation. I want him to have a chip on his shoulder so he can go out and hopefully be the guy from 2024, a lot like what Nicole said. I want to see that Mark Vientos, because that Mark Vientos can be useful. That Mark Vientos can DH for us when Polanco can't do it, when you want to give Beatty time in the field. That Mark Vientos can be useful. Not last year's Mark Vientos, someone that just looked like he couldn't catch up to a fastball and couldn't hit at all. Like he was a completely Jekyll and Hyde situation.
Yeah.
But I'm not shocked it happened, like, because the Mets have a logjam at a lot of those positions, and we're trying to free up some space. And I would imagine that the Mets would say, you know what, I think I want to keep Acuna because he's a stealing base threat. He can sit in for Lindor if Lindor's got to take a seat. He can play all over the infield for the most part. And he's young and he's got speed. I would rather trade Mark Vientos instead of him, but that's not how it shook out.
Yeah.
Vientos is still here, and hopefully JD Martinez is going to fix him.
Let's hope, because if he doesn't get fixed, we
know where he's going. He's getting fitted for a suit.
It's just make sure he get the specs up here. Make sure you get the shoulders, because the shoulders is always the worst thing to be able to do in the suit, right? You make sure that those are not too tight to be able to put the suit on. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Let's go ahead and preview this Giants series. 4-game set. We got David Peterson going against, I think, Robbie Ray is the first matchup. What are your thoughts about that? The 49ers, the Giants are not that great of a team. I mean, the Yankees kind of beat them around, and so I expect us to do the same thing. But do you think that our offense can be able to get going against Ray?
They better. That's the thing. The Giants, like, on paper, like, their lineup's not that bad. Like, they got a pretty decent lineup. It's their pitching that's really not that great, which is why you're kind of sort of hoping that, okay, you guys got shell shocked. You just got beat by a team that's rebuilding. Let's, turn the page, just wash it, forget it. And let's get right against a team that really doesn't have a great. I'm looking at it right now, the probable pitchers. Rob, I think the best ERA we got right now is Landon Rope, who is hasn't given up a run yet, which is kind of crazy. Everybody else, 7 ERA, 3.38, not terrible. 4.50, like 3.38's not. Robbie Ray's not bad, but I mean, nothing to be really all that scared about. There's no Paul Skeens or anybody in this rotation. So this should be this is hopefully the get right series. These guys aren't going to stay cold forever. I'm sorry. Like, I can't get on the vibe that this lineup's just going to stay cold forever and we're just going to mimic what we did last year. I just can't believe that right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. Silence has some thoughts?
Yeah. When I was watching the opening night with the Giants and Yankees, I'm like, oh, like, this lineup's not too bad. They definitely have some offensive pieces that can hurt. So I feel like, I don't know, personally, I feel like out of every team so far, like, this is the offense I think that's so far the best, just on paper. So I think the pitching just has to stay how it was, and we should be able to beat them. I expect, obviously, a win in the series. I know Logan Webb, had a rough outing his first time out, but he's a good pitcher. I feel like that's the only, because we got Rope, Webb, Ray, and who else?
I can't say Tyler Mahle. I have no idea how to say his name. Mahle.
Yeah, so I think Mahle, yeah.
What's up, Tony H back?
So I'm expecting them to kind of come back from this. That, like I said, this is not a team that should be staying like that with the offensively. This is a team that's supposed to mash and get runs all over the place. So I think they just have to have a little meeting, kind of come together, say, hey, we gotta kind of get these clutch hits and then turn it around. So yeah.
I do think it's a little freaking BS, though, that to start the season, we get 3 games at home against Pittsburgh and then immediately 9-game road trip. That's crazy. Yeah. And no off day.
Well, I mean, think about it. Well, we're so used to starting the season on the road.
But if you plan on doing a long road trip, do it then. Don't have the team come up here from Florida, start the season, and then immediately go on the road for a 9-game road trip. The only off day they've had was the day after opening day. I mean, again, 6 games. You should be able to play through 6 games. You know, you shouldn't be complaining that you're tired when you really haven't played a lot of baseball yet. But I still think that that's a little BS from the schedule makers. Like if you want to do a beginning of the season long road trip, start the season on the road, and then we'll come have a home opener later on when we can have an extended time at home. You know what I mean?
I agree. I did notice that was a little wonky, but I was just like,
Like the Yankees got to start in San Francisco. I think they're coming home this week.
Yeah.
But like do that road trip then. And hopefully maybe you still get some warmer weather when they come back. But like I think that's a little, again, I don't think that's the reason that they went in the tank this series. I'm just saying, like, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, I think going forward, I think they should try to schedule these East Coast teams on the road more to start the season because these games are so cold on the East Coast, right?
Yeah,
that would be nice, but it's not ideal, not an ideal scheduling start for the Mets at all. But hopefully they go to San Francisco and beat the hell out of those Giants. That's what I like, because if there's one guy that makes me smile every time I see him outside of Lindor, because I just love the guy, right? My man Juan Pacheco Soto. My God, listen, the man has gotten a hit for 6 straight games. Okay, he's recorded a hit in every single game we have played this season. How can you not love that guy? Right? How can you not love that guy? He's amazing. You know what I mean?
Is. Agreed.
So I don't know how you guys think about this, but I would like, since Mr. Mendoza is into experimenting with the lineup so early, how about, I want to know what you guys think about this, because I had posed this question on X, I think it was last night or the night before. What about putting Bichette in the 2-hole and putting Soto in the 3-hole?
I just kind of don't want to. Not that I'm worried that Soto's not gonna be able to would be thrown off by going to the 3-hole. I think you could put him anywhere and he'd be fine. I just think I want to leave Soto where he is, let him do his thing. And I mean, Bo hasn't shown me nearly enough that he would be good in the 2-hole right now.
Hasn't showed us anything in 3-hole either.
That's what I mean, if anything, move him down. I don't know, but I don't want to move him up in the order, especially since we're getting such bad at bat. Not even, it's just such weak contact. I guess from everybody, but
in bad at bats too. Like he's just swinging at everything.
Yeah.
For a guy that doesn't strike out much. He's striking out a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
even with the struggles, I feel like even with the struggles, I don't really like to kind of shift around the lineup, especially this early in the season. Like, okay, like we're still figuring it out, but like I feel like let's just stick with something, and then for like a little bit, at least like a couple series, kind of keep it consistent, and then kind of go from there. But I think Juan is doing fine in the 2-hole, and Bichette's the one that has to figure it out. So he has to.
All right.
Learn.
So if I don't mind that in regards to just keeping it the same for a couple of series and see how it work, but who would be your ideal 3-hole hitter on this team?
To be honest with you, I don't know if there is a clear one. I mean, do you want to move up Luis Robert because he has at least given you some competitive at bats? But I don't know. I think I want to. That's the thing. I think it's too early. I think I want to see this. I want to fully give this lineup a chance.
Yeah.
To really like get going and be what we expect it to be, because again, like I understand you don't want to get beat over the head with the it's early, but it is. It very much is. I don't think 6 games is enough of a sample size right now in a 162 season to say, okay, this isn't working. We need to change some stuff around. I think guys are going to go through rough stretches. I mean, Lindor is a historical slow starter. Maybe these guys are just having a slow start to the season, which happens. What's the cliche from John Sterling? That's baseball, Susan. Lindor said it. That's baseball. Baseball comes with hot streaks and cold streaks. Unfortunately, they're starting the season a little bit cold. But I want to see this shake out. Okay. I'm still confident enough that Lindor and Soto and Bichette will right the ship and we'll be just fine going forward.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair. I just figured I'd post the questions because I don't have an answer myself. I think that you guys are right in regards to just seeing what we have for a stretch of time to see if it actually does materialize. Because the thing about it is, if the top of our lineup produces, I think it's going to set the trend for the rest of the lineup. It's gonna set the table because those are our three best hitters, and if they're hot and they're doing what they have to do, I don't think that there's a better three-man tandem in all of baseball if those guys are on top of their games, right?
I can see that.
So, it's not a stretch to say that, but we have to see it. We have to see it for a long period of time for them to be able to be consistent and help us win some games. Because if they're not doing their jobs, the Mets are going to struggle all year. And
yeah,
that's the way it is, right? Like those three guys have to do it. And we know that Lindor historically is a slow starter. We understand that Soto is a very patient guy and he doesn't swing for the fences every time at bat. And that's a good thing. But I still don't know what Bichette's approach is. I've seen him in Toronto. I've seen what he does there, but I don't know what his Met approach is. And you have to kind of give him some grace a little bit just because it's a new team. It's a new league, right? He's going against new pitchers. There's a lot of things that he still has to adjust in himself. So, I'm sure he'll get there. Good hitters always find their way back to the ball. So I'm not worried about that. But, it's just a question to see if we needed to, maybe shake things up just a little bit.
Look, if we get through the Giants series and we're coming and if we get out of this 9-game away road trip, I think you could start and it's just not clicking at all. I think you could start having conversations and if you're going to move guys around and stuff. Yeah. But I think you still gotta give them the chance to right the ship and just figure it the hell out.
Absolutely. So what do we think? 4-game set. Do the Mets win this series? And if they do win this series, what are we thinking sweep? Are we thinking 3 out of 4? Are we thinking it's gonna be a split? What are your thoughts about the outcome of this series?
At least 3 out of 4. Just for the pitching matchups alone, I think the only thing like Logan Webb to me is the only really standout pitcher. Robbie Ray he's good or he's bad. I really can't kind of put it on. He had that, just a couple off years. And the other guys, I think we should be able to kind of take care of, despite, ERA, whatever, it is. I think just as a whole, that's kind of what we're matched up with.
Yeah. Tom?
I am flushing the Cardinal series, and I think they'll take 3 out of 4. I think they can. I think they could do it. I'm not saying that it's going to be all sunshine and rainbows. I'm not saying that it's going to be the offense wakes up and they're going to beat the bricks off them. But I do think the Mets are still talented enough to take this series and kind of cleanse the palate a little bit. At least give us something to be a little bit more excited about. I think I can still confidently say that. I don't think we're getting another stinker.
Yeah, they're on the West Coast, so the games are going to be late. I believe that the game is tipping off.
Get them done this early. Get them all done early in the season.
9:45 tomorrow, so it's going to be 9:45 games going forward, which is. But hopefully they're well rested. Don't look like they're out there partying and doing nothing crazy. So I need them to wake up, and I'm in lockstep with you guys. But of course, I got to be the different one. They're going to sweep this damn series.
There we go.
Sweep it. All right. 4-0. 4. Not 4. 4. 4-0. That's what's going to happen. So, we'll see what happens in regards to this series, but we're hoping that they can be able to get out of there. I say 4. My lovely co-host here say 3 out of 4. So let's see what happens there. But if they split or if they lose this series, oh boy. I'm going to come in here and it's not going to be pretty, okay?
Losing the series would not be fun.
You see, over, under, in regards to rants, I'm not going to rant yet. But, man, the Mets are the only team that can be able to mess up my mood. And I'm not trying to have my mood messed up after these 4 games. That's all I'm saying. Let's go ahead and talk about some things. we have, created this segment here. So let's just go ahead and just put this aside. Now, this is my segment, and I'm going to call it Mission to Mars.
Oh, that's such a good name.
This is what I'm going to do. Now, this is my rant in regards to who I believe should not be on this team going forward, or I'm just going to rant, right? This is my chance to rant. I got a few candidates, and I did talk about this before we went on air. I said it may change as the stream goes on, and yes, it has. Now, the first one that I'm going to have on his Mission to Mars is our third base coach. But what's his name? Tom Leap. What? Don't you send our franchise player like that? Don't you get him hurt like that to start the season? What is wrong with you? Everybody and their mama knew that there was no reason to send Lindor, and your dumbass is over here flagging him around. And because Lindor is such a nice person, he's not going to say, all right, I'm not going to trust my third base coach. He's my eyes. I'm going to go ahead and go listen to him. And you damn near got the guy close line at the damn plate. We don't do this here, all right? You just got here, cool. I don't want that, okay? So you better figure it out, or you going to be you going to have your Mission to Mars soon. The next one. Marcus Semien. Listen, I like you. I think your defense is great. But just because you got a nice smile, just because people like you, just because you've been a good clubhouse leader, don't mean that you got to take garbage ass at bats and have me looking like, has this man ever played baseball before? You have everybody telling me that, how much they miss Brandon Nimmo at this point. Brandon Nimmo's going to be an all-star. He very well might be. But at least you can be able to get some hits. That's all I'm saying. You ain't got to hit no home runs. But please do something. Do something, because you just got here. It's crazy how the only guys that are not doing things that just got here are only two. And it's the guys that are getting paid the most. Bichette and you have Semien. Both of them not doing a goddamn thing. So you better be able to make sure that you get some hits in this series, because if you don't get any hits, those echoes are going to start getting louder and louder. Laura, this is Queens. This is not Texas. This is not Toronto. This is not Oakland. There's none of these places that have like 2 or 3 writers in the room. There's 1,000 people here talking about how bad you are. So you better figure it out, or your Mission to Mars is going to be really, really soon. The last one. I'm not even going to call him Dick, because pause. We're not doing that. Richard Lovelady, okay? It ain't your fault for you to be able to get called, right? Nobody's going to blame you for saying, hey, you want me in the game? Okay, coach, I'm in there. But, bruh, there's no reason why every time you're in the game, you got to give up runs. At some point, you got to be able to have a clean aim, bro. Like, every time you see Richard Lovelady, you know that the run is going to get given up. That's just the way it is. What was that guy's name a couple of years ago? Silent Assassin I couldn't stand. What was his name? Phil Maton. Get him the hell out of here. Every time I seen Phil Maton, that dude was giving up runs. Dick Lovelady is the same thing. Get him out of here. You need to go. I'm saying that. The other ones were just warnings. He gotta go. You got too many good players in the minors for him to be here stinking it up. That's all I'm saying. So that is my Mission to Mars, and they got to figure it out. I don't want no Richard Lovelady on this team anymore. We have enough people that we can be able to figure out. Give me a minor league pitcher that has no idea what the hell he's doing in the major leagues. As long as he got some stuff, he'll be better than Richard Lovelady. That's all I'm saying. This guy has been bounced around more times than a basketball. I don't want him anywhere near the Mets. That's all I'm saying.
He strikes to me. He to me is the human white flag. Like he is the guy. I think that's why he might be here. He's the guy that when they aren't scoring runs and they're showing no life and they have to send somebody out,
they send him to get beat up.
They're gonna send him out there. Yeah, they're like, all right, Lovelady, go try to clean this up. We don't got it today, because they don't want to burn Brooks Raley. They don't want to burn Luke Weaver. They don't want to use any of their high leverage guys. So, but no, I agree with you. I don't know. I still don't know why he's on the team. I don't know what their love affair is with him. No pun intended. But I agree. That was a great segment.
Thank you.
That was a great segment.
It's gonna get better as the season goes on.
Oh, I have zero doubt. I loved that idea for a segment.
Any final words, my team?
I'm just waiting for the home runs to come. Unfortunately, I missed the Juan Soto home runs. I was with my nephew, and then I just checked the game. I'm like, God damn it, I missed it because it was just on. I had to turn it off because he was watching it too much.
He was so happy when he hit it too.
Yeah, I saw the after because it was just fair, I guess, and he was like waiting for it, and then he kind of did that little get up, whatever you call it, run up. But I just want to see some more home runs, some more first home runs of the season. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. And they got that, shallow right field, so I'm expecting, a couple to be hit over there.
Yeah.
I'm just praying for better at bats. I really just want to see. I just want to see some better at bats. I want to see no more weak ground balls, no more weak pop flies. I want to see the ball hitting some gaps. I want to see some base hits. I just want to see a better effort at all of them. I'm also really curious to see how Carson Bench handles right field in their stadium, because their outfield is really freaking weird.
There's some grooves and gaps there.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how he's going to handle that. As the love watching people play defense nerd, baseball fan.
Same.
So I'm really curious to see how that's going to handle, but I really, really, really like, I almost feel crazy for saying this, but I'm confident that the pitchers are going to show up. I'm confident that we're going to get some good starts out of David Peterson, Nolan McLean, Kodai. I'm confident that's happening. I need to see some good at bats. I need to see some well fought, hard worked at bats.
Yeah, I agree. My final words or final thoughts is that I will never, and I repeat, I will never go to another March game at Citi Field. That thing, let me tell you something. We had a great time, right? Jasmine, she was her first Met game, and she loved it. Well, not the first Met game. She went to the one last year where she got a ball from Tyrone Taylor, but this was one that was, she liked this one. She was really, really, she had a lot of fun, but man, was it cold. Like we went to WrestleMania in Philadelphia, and that was night one. It was like 30 degrees below. That's what it felt like. This was worse than that. Like it was so bad. I'm gonna tell you how bad it was that the DJ didn't even want to play hype music because it was so cold. Because nobody wanted to do anything. Everybody was just like, right? And when the rally started in the 11th, people, if you go look at the game, right? All of the seats behind home plate were empty because people went home. It was so cold.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as Robert hit the ball, I knew it was gone. I said, baby, let's get out of here. All right? They were left, and we were already up the stairs and out of the building because, dude, I've never, and I'm not somebody who complains about cold. That shit was cold. You know what I mean? So never again. I love the Mets, but I don't love y'all in March. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is all for the show. We will, when the series wrap up, the last game of the series, we'll go ahead and have a quick recap. We're going to do that as the season goes on. Silent Assassin, if you can be able to join us for that, that'd be great. If you cannot, then, we will catch the trio. We will be here every Wednesday together, breaking these things down. So until then, we love you guys. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Stay cool. Peace.